Well, we are wrapping things up here on Cyhawk Game Day, so let's get into our picks. It was interesting. We were talking about the spread for the Iowa Northwestern game. What are your thoughts on where that's at?
So the spread, betting spread, is that Iowa is an 11-point favorite. Last I looked, and also the over/under, which is basically for those that are not degenerates like me. It's basically how many points, if you add both point totals together, what's the total number that's going to hit? It's at 37.5, which assumes that at least one team is going to make it into the 20s, which if you've watched Iowa and Northwestern play, that seems like a stretch. So I think the lines, Vegas always knows, so I'm going to assume that they know what they're talking about. So I guess if I was to pick, I'm going to say that Vegas knows more than I do, and I'm going to say 21-10 Iowa.
I got Iowa as well, but I have 17-13 because I am not confident they hit 20 points. Let's shift gears to Iowa State, Oklahoma. I think this maybe has a possibility to be a bit of a high-scoring game. What are your thoughts on that?
So this is really weird because Iowa State's, the only consistent side of the ball for either team has been Iowa State's defense. They've been really good pretty much every single game. They haven't really had too many bad portions. I mean, knock on wood. But Oklahoma's defense has been questionable at best. Oklahoma's offense has been awesome or terrible. They've been everywhere in between. Mm-hmm. And Iowa State's offense, they've played like they did against Texas, but they also have played like they did against Kansas State. So could be all over the board. But one of the things that I just get the feeling of is that Iowa State feels like they are close to clicking. Mm-hmm. You know, they've lost 4 games by 14 total points, and it's just been a mistake here or a mistake there. But they're this close. So I don't know. It feels like Iowa State's offense is going to put it together, and I don't know how much Oklahoma is going to be able to keep up against Iowa State's defense. So it feels like this game is going to get into the low 30s. Yeah. And I just don't feel it. I feel like I trust Iowa State's defense more than I trust Oklahoma's defense. So I'm going to give, I think, 31-21. Iowa State over Oklahoma.
Yeah, I had a similar score, 31-17, but I'm going with Iowa State. I just think coming off of this bye week, healthy, like you said, the offense really starting to figure things out, so I think they're trending upwards, and we can see an explosive performance from them this week. Well, let's sticking with the Big 12. There's some pretty big matchups. One I can think of my Cats, my alma mater, going up against Oklahoma State. This should be a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, it's a really important game for the Big 12 too, because there's really 3 teams in the Big 12 that still have a chance at making the playoff. It's Kansas State, it's Oklahoma State, and it's TCU. Mm-hmm. Well, in order for either one of those or any of those teams to actually make it there, I mean, Kansas State is on the fringes now that they've got 2 losses, one to Tulane and the other one now to TCU last week, but they're on their 3rd string quarterback. But the Oklahoma State-Kansas State game, it's 2 completely diametrically opposed styles. Oklahoma State wants to play quick. They want to score a lot of points. Their defense will gamble. And Kansas State is just, we're going to stay here. You're going to beat yourself. I trust that you are not going to score more points than we do if we don't mess up. So it's going to be a clash in styles, and I don't know. Give me the Cats in that one, I think.
Yeah, and shifting gears to the Big Ten real quick, Ohio State, Penn State, who you got in that one?
I think Ohio State. I'm not a believer in Penn State just because you got to have really solid quarterback play, and Sean Clifford is a fine quarterback, but when you need him to win a game, he's a 50-50 shot of winning it or throwing a pick six. So give me Ohio State just because I think the more complete team.
Yeah, and coming off of a big performance against Iowa, that's a good confidence boost. You're firing on all cylinders there, but should be interesting to see how both of these conferences play out. Well, that's going to do it for us here on Cyhawk Game Day. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.